You asked, we answered. We did a poll on Facebook asking couples what are the things that they regretted the most after their wedding day, and we have about 27 to 30 different reasons what people regretted. So stick around and watch this video because you want to make sure that either you dodge the bullet or you make sure this does not happen. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica Valenzuela and I am a wedding and events planner here in Los Angeles, California. I'm here on YouTube to let you know the good, bad, and ugly of all things wedding planning, and in today's video we're going to be talking about wedding regrets. Okay, we did a poll on Facebook and asked couples what are the things that they regret, and here are the top 30-ish, a little bit under 30 things that couples regretted after their wedding. First, coming in hot, we have 70 votes, and these couples said that they wish they had more time to socialize. This is quite depending on your timeline. So if you have a very rigorous timeline, it's going to be really hard for you to socialize with your guest. Sometimes couples really want to be a part of their cocktail hour, but truly it's meant for your guests to enjoy a cocktail hour, for you to take photos with you and your partner, and then to have your grand entrance at the reception. And that time during the reception is the time that you spend time with your whole guests and thanking them whenever you want to. One of the reasons too is not having enough time to eat, but definitely not having enough time to socialize. I would say to make sure that your timeline is a little bit less rigorous if you can extend a few more hours, or just kind of play with it as far as when photo and video will start their services in some way, shape, or form to kind of help you alleviate that, so you are spending more time talking to your guests and you don't feel like, where did the day go? Coming in second with 40 different votes is I wish I hired a videographer. Many times, a lot of my couples wish they hired a videographer. I make it a huge point that photo and video are essentially two different things. Photo you will see in a whole millisecond of time, but when you replay a video, you will see it as it's truly happening in time. So looking back at your videos, you might think, I will never see these videos again. Why would I pay a videographer? Truly, it's way better to hire a videographer and to have those moments to relive them. You will actually see them in the future. You will actually show them to a lot of people, and especially if you want to show off your day, how much money you spent. Obviously not disclosing that, but you are spending a lot of money on your wedding day, so why not go big or go home and have a videographer? Put it a part of within your wedding budget to make sure that it's a priority to have a photographer and videographer. Bonus if you have a photo and video team that works together, is in the same company, so probably spending a little bit less money as opposed to hiring two different people. If you make it a priority to have a videographer part of your wedding, trust me, when you see your video played after the wedding, a week after or 2 months after honeymoon, whenever the video is ready, you will be able to relive those moments in true time and when you felt them. So a lot of people do regret not hiring a videographer. So coming in at 37 votes is I really wish that I had time to eat. Like I said this in the first one where people wish they socialized, people do really wish they had time to eat. I would say as a hack that you can have your coordinator or catering team to have a plate for you of hors d'oeuvres. That way, when you're done taking your photos during cocktail hour, you have time to kind of get a little bite here and there to eat before you're actually eating your dinner. Sometimes guests feel like, or couples feel like, they don't have enough time to eat because they want to immediately go and see their guests in each table and thank them for coming. So they might not feel like they had too much of their salad or even their entree plate because you go into the nitty-gritty of your first dance and your parent dances if you wish to have those, the tosses and the cake and all of that stuff. So I would say that to give you guys, because you are essentially, if you have like hair and makeup team, you probably ate early in the morning or maybe had a quick bite to eat, but you're going to be starving by the time it's dinner. So to have hors d'oeuvres ready for you will really, really help kind of kill that appetite. And then when it's time to eat, then, you know, again with the timeline, not make it so rigorous, to be able to have time for you to be able to eat and enjoy the moment with you and your new husband or wife. And yeah, just really work with your coordinator on the timeline. Okay, so this one is people regretting their photographer. And the reason why they regret their photographer is the gallery that comes back, or they didn't do an engagement shoot. So I would really, really highly suggest that before you actually hire a photographer, ask to look at a private gallery or a gallery that they're allowed to use of an actual wedding. You can see the whole start time to end time of how good are they playing with the lighting, and when it gets really, really dark, do you like those photos? Do you like the filter that they use? Do you like the way they edit? Can they Photoshop? There's so many important questions to that, and I should probably do a future video on this. But essentially, you don't want to regret the photos from the photographer that you hired. These are photos that are once in a lifetime. They are captured in the moment and you can't take them back. So with a photographer, highly suggest that when you're hiring a photographer, that it either comes with an engagement session or you're able to see the gallery beforehand before you actually do hire that photographer. And then when you come down to your top choices as far as photographers, that ask if it does come with an engagement session or how much are their engagement sessions. You really want to see what the personality is like working with that person, because you're going to be working with that photographer and essentially the videographer the whole day. They really help with the timeline, and the coordinator helps with the timeline to get the shots that you need done. So it's really important that you and your personality match and mesh well with you and your partner and the people who are capturing your special day. If it doesn't, and you're going to feel stressed out, and if you're going to feel rushed and you're not going to like the photos in the end of it, then what was the point of hiring that photographer? You don't want to be disappointed in the end of it or regret it. So very, very important to make sure you do those things. Coming in with 20-ish votes is, I wish that I didn't stress so much on your wedding. So I would say that, you know, you essentially only want to be engaged once, and you want to enjoy that moment that you have with you and your partner. So really kind of take a step back and enjoy that time that you have with your partner while you are engaged. Once when it comes to the wedding day, the most important thing about that is that you two are in love and you guys are taking this new chapter together, and everyone around you is there to celebrate your love. So that is the most important thing why you are getting married. And I would say that to feel less stress, you should hire a coordinator. A lot of times people are kind of like, is it worth it if I feel like I can do it myself? And oftentimes, if you've never coordinated or have done a wedding before, there are certain questions, there is certain networking, there's just so many things to it that you might not think you would need experience on, but it's actually really, really time consuming to plan all these things. So to have a coordinator who has those connections, who is able to help you plan your wedding, will put a lot of less stress on your wedding day and leading up to those months, and you will feel so much more weight lifted off your shoulders that you have a coordinator that's going to keep you on track, that's going to help you, you know, construct timelines and floor plans and doing all of these things to be able to get it done. It's a truly, it might be biased, but a planner is something totally worth investing in. This next one is, I wish that I had not hired a vendor based on budget. I would say that oftentimes if people are like, you should hire a planner between 5 to 10% of your budget and blah, 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 blah. And I think that a lot of times where people go wrong is that they spend way too much money on the venue, and then you have the food and beverage minimum, and that's where it gets you that you don't have enough money to pay for that coordinator or that DJ or that florist, that you want because there's not enough money in the budget. And so I would say that when there's so many rules to what you should do with your wedding, that I'm going to remind you that it is your special day and you can do whatever it is that you like. So I would say that to kind of help with that is to really talk to your partner about what are the top 3 non-negotiables that happens to be your wedding day. If it is, we have to have good music, we have to have good food, and we have to have elaborate florals or just nice decor, then I would say that when it comes to choosing a venue, it might not be as perfect as you'd love it to be if you are based on a certain budget, but at least like having a venue there that you can enhance because of the fact that you have enough money to hire a better florist that can help with the decor, then that would be great. With the food and beverage minimum or catering, or the food matters to you, then you're putting more time and energy, putting more money into having the quality of food taste better. And then especially if the DJ matters to you, then you know that you are spending more money to have a better DJ that's going to be amazing on the entertainment and guests are going to be having a good time. That essentially means that if those 3 things are most important to you, then you would spend less money on the stationery or how the tux looks or how the dress looks, whatever it is that you're wearing for your wedding day. Maybe you're not going to have a honeymoon, or maybe you're just going to have a honeymoon that is local or something like that, or maybe you're not spending so much money on a hotel of where you're getting ready at, and instead you and your wedding party are going to be having a local Airbnb to save costs. Like, there are so many different ways. So I would say for people who are kind of like, man, like I just wish that it wasn't capped at a certain budget, where people will say like, okay, well, I only have $2,000 for a DJ. I would say that it just really depends on your priority, on where you're at with it. So I would say if you're really starting out with what you're doing to plan your wedding, the venue's the first thing that you're going to be spending a lot of money on. So just be very mindful on the cost of the venue and if it comes with food. Coming hot with lucky number 7 is I wish I had eloped. I would say that planning a wedding is hard. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. But if you're really feeling stressed out with the wedding and you feel like you should elope, who's stopping you? Who's paying for the wedding? Is it you? Is it your parents? Is it a family member, a friend, or something that's helping you with the wedding? Why are you so stressed out? Should you have hired a coordinator or a planner? If you feel like it's more important for you to purchase a house before having a wedding and you care more about the down payment of getting a house first opposed to like having a wedding, then definitely elope. Like, it is so cute to have elopement pictures and to just go to court and have these cute outfits and just have like a cute posy bridal bouquet or whatever it is, and you know, it's just the 2 of you guys eloping. Great if it's an intimate celebration of just your top 20 people, then amazing. It doesn't have to be a full-blown out 200 people. Not everyone has the budget for it. Not everyone has the time for it. Everyone's love situation, their love stories and everything is all different. So it's your special day. You can do whatever it is you want with it. But I would say that if you're tugging your heartstrings on having an actual wedding or having to elope, then I would say to really talk to your partner about it, and that you guys really discuss what are the importance of this, because if it's truly to make family happy, I think that's where it gets really sticky, because a lot of times we are planning a wedding to make our guests happy, when truly are we even happy with what we planned. So really talk to your fiance about it, because if pros and cons, if the pros to get elope is a lot higher than it is of the cons, then I would say elope. And there are like planners that help with elopements as well, so you don't really have to be too stressed out as far as that goes as well. There's so many elopement planners out there. But yeah. Okay, so we interrupt this video as a special announcement that after editing this process, it is going to take a lot longer than we thought. So we are going to do it in a 3 series, part 1, 2, and 3, coming at you from highest to lowest according to local brides on what they regret on their wedding day. And yeah, so messy bun, no makeup, that's totally fine, but we're getting work done here. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and we'll see you in part 1, 2, and 3.